The United States is ramping up its military aid to Ukraine with another $800 million worth of equipment being sent overseas. This includes heavy artillery, along with Javelin anti-tank missiles. CBS News national security correspondent David Martin got an exclusive look at a shipment heading to Eastern Europe.
The Biden administration has committed more than $2.5 billion in military aid to Ukraine since the invasion began. Now the race is on to get it there in time to make a difference. 500 Javelin anti-tank missiles are included in the latest round of military aid approved by President Biden. The Javelins, which are proving the single most effective weapon against Russian tanks, arrive in unmarked trucks at Dover Air Force Base in Delaware, which is the hub of resupply flights for Ukraine.
There are 24 Javelins in each stack, several hundred in all. Once they're all loaded on this 747, it's a 7-hour, 52-minute flight to Poland, where they will all be turned over to the Ukrainian military.
Moving supplies through a giant Amazon-like warehouse at Dover, the U.S. is one of 15 countries sending military aid to Ukraine in an operation run out of Germany by the European Command's chief logistics officer. How much have you moved so far?
We have moved almost 400 aircraft across U.S. and our allies.
On a daily basis, how many flights are going into these countries on the border with Ukraine?
Between 8 and 10 flights a day, and that's from approximately 5 to 7 donating countries.
The Javelins combined with the skill and bravery of Ukrainian soldiers to win the battle for Kyiv. But now the Russians are massing their forces for a bigger battle in the east of the country. And the U.S. will now start rushing bigger, more expensive equipment to the front, including artillery pieces along with 40,000 shells and armored personnel carriers, even Russian-made helicopters.
We are in it to win. It's the top priority.
How long can you keep this up?
We can keep it up for as long as it takes.
The Ukrainians don't know how to use all the American-made equipment included in this latest round of aid, so the U.S. will have to start a training program to teach them. But with this major new battle looming in the east, it will have to be a crash course. Nancy, Vlad?
David Martin, thank you very much. And joining us now with more is retired Army Colonel David Johnson. He is a principal researcher at the RAND Corporation, also an adjunct scholar at the Modern War Institute at West Point. Colonel, thank you very much for joining us this morning.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
How significant is the weaponry the U.S. is sending to Ukraine, and why is the White House just now ramping up the military aid it's been sending overseas?
So I think there's been a pretty steady flow. I think some of the weapons that we're going to start sending in higher volume are because of the changing situation what the Ukrainians are facing. In the East now, one of the biggest problems they're going to face is responding to Russian artillery, which providing them with radars that find where the origin of the artillery piece is, and artillery pieces that range out there to take them out are a very important capability. But my sense is that what we've provided them has been getting there fairly quickly, and they have not run out of the key systems like the Javelin.
Colonel David, as you heard in his report, mentioned that there would be a bit of a learning curve should we supply these weapons to Ukrainian forces. As you know, in the past, the United States, through special operators, has provided training on weapons, on missions, on all sorts of battlefield tactics. It doesn't seem that that's possible this time around. So how would we or our NATO partners train the Ukrainians to use these weapons?
So a number of these weapon systems they've had that we trained them on before the war started, like Firefinder radars that locate where enemy artillery is. They've had counter-mortar and counter-artillery radars for some time. Many of these weapons are very simple to use. The Javelin, as you've noticed, has taken no time at all to integrate and start using. Artillery systems are pretty much the same worldwide, the same kind of loading mechanisms. The sights are pretty much the same. So I don't think it's going to be that difficult to integrate them. The other approach I think will be taken, though, is to bring Ukrainians as Admiral Kirby said the other day, back into NATO countries and train them, and they'll go back and train the people that they're going to hand the weapons off to. It's called train the trainer.
And Colonel, I also want to ask you about some disturbing reports that we've been hearing of Russian forces possibly using chemical weapons in Mariupol. If confirmed, how does this change the overall war in Ukraine?
So I think the real question here is confirmation before action. I know the President and the National Security Council are looking really closely at this. But what kind of weapon was used, what quantity? At this juncture, it's a report from the Azov Regiment, as I understand, that a small quantity was dropped from a drone. My sense is that's not something the Russians would actually do. They don't need chemical weapons to raise the international specter of their use, when what you're seeing in Mariupol rather, is just a devastation by high explosives. So if there was extensive use, we would have heard more about it. And chemical weapons aren't just used in like a little bit off of a drone, I don't think.
So the Ukrainian officials also believe that Russian forces, Colonel, used phosphorus ammunition, and it's not classified as a chemical weapon, but it is illegal to use near civilians. What can you tell us about these weapons, and why isn't it considered a chemical weapon, given that they do cause horrific burns?
So the definition of a chemical weapon is toxicity to the human system. In other words, you breathe it, and the weapon is designed specifically to cause a chemical effect. White phosphorus is used in every military in the Army because it is a very effective smoke generation system. In other words, you fire the weapon, what you see, it almost looks like a 4th of July display with all the streamers flying off. Each one of those little streamers is either felt or something else impregnated with phosphorus that ignites when it hits the air, and it immediately starts to create smoke. Every army in the world uses these, from smoke grenades to mark positions, to create smoke in front of a squad, all the way up to artillery systems to screen larger forces. So the weapon itself is not illegal, and it's specifically not included in the Chemical Warfare Convention. But it is I think this is really important for everyone to understand. All these weapons are horrible. I used the metaphor the other day on CBS that this is a symphony of horrors that Putin has in his hands. And white phosphorus is just a minor instrument compared to the other things he's using. All these things, however, the important thing to understand is that if they are used purposefully against civilians or in a way that you think civilians will be at risk, they are illegal and they are a war crime.
All right, Colonel David Johnson, thank you very much, sir. We appreciate your insight and analysis.
Thank you for having me.